Hey everybody, welcome to Snow Talk. This is Wave 3 News meteorologist Brian Good on this 7th of December. We're in focus now. Getting closer to the Christmas holiday, and a lot of you have already been at a buzz about whether or not we're going to see snow for Christmas week. Is it going to be ice? Is it going to be sunny and 80? I think it'll be sunny and 80 somewhere, just not in Kentucky. We're getting ready for the holidays, though. In fact, Kevin has already brought in our Christmas tree. See it all set up there in the corner of the weather office. Isn't that nice? We're getting ready. Notice there's no presents yet under the tree. I'm just assuming that Christy and Lauren, Kevin and Ryan and Andy just haven't figured out what to get me yet. They'll work on it, I assure you. Here's the latest on our charts. 3.7 on the snowboard. Our next milestone is still on the board. 4 inches, a winter storm, by definition. Average time to see that is the 19th of January. We still have a chance to be ahead of schedule on that one. We're ahead of schedule on all the rest so far, obviously. On the snowboard tonight, I got Tuesday in there. But it's not enough to really even get a half a bar of Twix on a scale of 0 to 12. Or 0 to 10, excuse me. I just don't see it happening. It's not a major system. But the 16th and the 18th, it's a split flow type of scenario, but I see signs we're looking at a more phased system during that time. Which side will we be on that? That is the bigger question. We'll figure that out once we get closer. But it's enough to raise my eyebrows this early. Here's the latest in satellite. You see just some clouds around the area tonight. No rain, no snow, anything like that. As we head down the road, a couple things. East and west of us I want to point out. This is our rain system that came through Friday. See how it's not moving at all? Holding steady in the Atlantic. In fact, the spin, the center of it's right here on the south end. This is our friend we were talking about last week. It's going to come down. Little shortwave, it's going to help. It's going to see our friend the Atlantic, and it's going to throw it backwards toward the United States. It's going to buckle the jet stream just right to create a interior northeast snow. The big cities will be rain, but interior areas have a good chance for some accumulated snow. Well, not that far south, but the mountains here in the northeast will have some snow. Sorry to make you excited when I drew that. All right, the big question for us is going to be, what kind of an influence will this little guy have as it passes through and kicks up our big friend here in the Atlantic? Well, overall, not much of an influence. Let me show you on Futurecast. Tonight, a chilly night in the 30s, 40s. We get a south wind tomorrow, strong enough that even with clouds, we'll hit at least 50. If we get any sun breaks tomorrow, mid-50s would be likely. I'm not rolling it out. We have seen that happen at least 3 times this fall. So I'm going 53. If we get any sun, we'll be about 56, 57, maybe even 60 in our southern counties. That's how strong the south wind aloft is going to be able to pump in some warm air. So tomorrow could be a warm day. Cloud cover will be key on just how warm. Tomorrow night, though, into early Tuesday, the fun's over. Here comes the rain showers, very light showers, very spotty, not a lot to talk about, nothing like we just went through. But notice the blue or the white showing up where it changes to snow on the northern end. These are very light snow flurries and snow showers moving in as we get into sunrise Tuesday. Notice temperatures there, getting close to freezing. Yeah, we normally say watch out for icy roads, but the ground's fairly warm, so unless these numbers come down even more and the snow showers and snow bursts are more impressive, I'm not too concerned about the morning commute in Indiana on Tuesday. But it is something we will watch. We're not letting our guard down. It's just something that we're going to keep an eye on. All right. So this system, the way it's going to play out, our little friend that's up here now, that's going to dig in West Virginia. It's going to help out the big friend here in the Northeast. But while our little friend is hanging out here in West Virginia, the question is, how far west will its influence be when it comes to clouds and any chance for some snow flurries? Because you got to understand, the flow is coming off the lakes here into the Ohio Valley. Usually when we see that, you get snow showers and snow flurries that light up the radar sites. So that's why, even though the models aren't showing it, we've seen this many, many times every single winter. You get a flow here off the lakes, you're going to get into the idea of some snow showers, snow flurries. Now, we should be above freezing, so I'm not expecting a lot of problems with this. But it will look wintry at times, especially on the radar. The more west you go, though, you have a better chance to break into some sunshine and escape all this altogether. So it's going to be a situation where the more east you go, the more wintry you look, the more west you go, the better it'll look. So decide which way on 64 you want to head as we into Tuesday. Same situation on Wednesday. The system's going to really wind up. It's showing a sunny sky here Wednesday. I'm not buying that yet, especially if we get any low-level moisture here. The sun, if we get any sun at all, would only help promote more cloud cover, in fact, and snow showers to break out. So not rolling that out yet for Wednesday. But after that, we lose the influence of our little friend. All right, now here's the sounding from the NAM model for Louisville. Notice we're saturated enough to produce snowflakes, but we're above freezing. right at the 0 line here at the surface, so that should be just enough to keep the everything melting. But we'll watch that. But, good little chance for some snow showers to break through. Overall, the pattern here as we head into this week is the same. What I just explained here with that little system coming out, having up the big system, and then you get your big storm. Here's the difference compared to last week when you saw my tweets. Is we saw this happening. We saw the system coming down, and we saw the northeast snow. That was easy overall. When the models didn't show up, we were pretty confident on that happening here in our area. The change over the weekend is to keep this here hanging out until maybe Saturday, Sunday, just chilling out for a while. The change in the forecast means that this big warm up to our west that I was hoping we would at least get on the eastern side of for at least a couple of days to give us some 60-degree days, maybe even a 70-degree day, well, that window of opportunity has shrunk dramatically because of this low hanging out here all weekend, or all week into the weekend. So the quicker we get this low out of here, the quicker we'll have at least a couple of days to enjoy that warmth to our west. But I tell you what, the way trends are in the models, this is the area to be if you want to see warmth. We may miss out completely here on the warm spell. Hold not hope still, you never know. Alright, now let's talk about the models here. Here's the Japanese model. It did a really good job on picking out this pattern here developing for Tuesday and Wednesday. In fact, it was slightly ahead of the schedule even from the Canadian model. So I'm going to give the Japanese model some credit and show it for the future here. Here it is for Tuesday and Wednesday. It shows the nice little dig into Ohio Valley for that cool weather. Shows the influence for this weekend. Very nice. It shows that core again up here across the northeast. It shows how we are still in a northerly flow in the Ohio Valley. So it's cool wind. Gradually gets warmer each and every day, but nothing drastic because the real strong south wind's right here. It's going to be warmer in this part of Canada than it will be here into Kentucky. Very warm in the plains. I mean, they're going to be loving this as we get into this week and this weekend. But then, as the time happens, as I mentioned, for the window to arrive here to enjoy some of that warmth, it's not as dramatic as what you just saw there in the previous map. It's just okay. It's, warmer, but nothing off the chart because, there we go, here comes our next cool shot diving in from the north here into the northern plains. And this is why I think we're going to end up with a phased system. The European model's got, and the Canadian, take the low to the south. The southern branch feature, it's got cold air here to the north. And the GFS is kind of similar on tracks of trying to face something in the areas of the Ozarks. But you can see what the Canadian's doing. It's already showing signs here of some type of phase system developing as we head into the 16th to the 18th that are war east. Question is, will it go due east or be a lakes cutter? And we never know this far out how it's going to play out. But that is the one, our next big one to watch. Here's the global models for Christmas week. To explain this, here's the North Pole. Kentucky's down here. Over here is Europe. Over here is Japan and into Siberia and Asia. So you're looking at the northern hemisphere. What we look for to get cold air in Kentucky is going to be a low pressure that develops in the Gulf of Alaska that pumps in warm air into western Canada and the western United States. And then you get some type of blocking high or Greenland block that develops in the Atlantic. And that forces the cold air to do nothing else but dive into the United States. This is the Canadian model. It is seeing the blocking that is happening. It's not to the point where I would think it's going to lock in enough to keep the cold air at play, but it could. It could trend that way. But this is a classic setup to get cross-polar flow to move into the United States. And we're seeing a lot of models showing high pressure developing in areas of Canada and low pressure underneath it. Classic setups here for wintry weather for Christmas week with this kind of a model look. Here is the European. Does not see the blocking as much in the Atlantic. Definitely shows how there's going to be a low pressure here developing near Alaska. It shows the pumping, at least attempts to, in the west. It just gives a warning shot of some colder air that could potentially move in. But it does set the stage still for the chance for some cross-polar, but nothing as dramatic as the Canadian showed. And here is the GFS. Does show again the chance for some blocking. Shows again the core here to our west. This is, by the way, the core of the polar vortex. Notice it is not where it normally would be. It's displaced. So the cold air is kind of traveling around. In fact, temperatures now about 20 to 30 degrees below zero in Siberia. This is where the snowpack is unreal. That's where the core of the planet is. That's the coldest place right now, really taking place in the northern hemisphere, is right over Siberia this week and into Christmas week. The only way we can get that, right here in Kentucky, you got to cheat and go over the pole and get it over us. It's not going to come in this way. It's got to go over the pole, come down. And in order to get that to happen, in order for us to cheat, if you will, and get the cold air to sneak over and make a little shortcut, you've got to have the pattern line up as such. So here's my guess right now for Christmas week, breaking down the risk. Right now I got a moderate risk for snow or ice potential, a low risk for rain. In other words, colder than 40 degrees is likely for a high, lesser chance for that for above 40. That's my sneak peek for right now at Christmas week. I'll update that daily.